I have been living in Ukraine for 2 years and I'm very happy to be here. I first visited Ukraine in 1997 within the framework of an education program. It was a 2-week trip during which we visited Kyiv and Odesa. Within the short period of time I spent in Ukraine, I fell in love with this country and dreamt to come here again. Over the time of my 2-year absence, the country considerably changed. I first saw Ukraine when I was a student, and then I had quite another view of life. But today I assess the situation in Ukraine as a diplomat. Ukraine became more modernized, and these changes are noticeable in many spheres. The only thing that remained unchanged was the Ukrainian people. Ukrainians are people of open disposition and always try to enjoy life. I must note that the Ukrainians are very hospitable. They always are happy to welcome their guests and meet foreigners with open arms. In my opinion, the best way to unite people is cooperation in the sphere of culture. This sphere can foster the institution of areas of common interests. Ukraine and France are close to each other, and at the same time, they are far from each other. So my role as an advisor for culture is to promote the bringing of these two nations together. Within the framework of my work, we restore projects that have been started in previous years and develop new directions of cooperation. I would like our nations to become closer to each other in the future.
Pourquoi ce projet a débuté? Eh bien, tout simplement pour justement renforcer notre coopération.
I consider that the French Spring Festival in Kyiv is one of the most successful projects aimed at the unity of our nations. Within the framework of the project, we represent contemporary French art in different spheres of culture: cinema, street performances, plays and intellectual debates for art connoisseurs. Every day we try to present the best patterns of contemporary French art to the Ukrainian audience. We have been holding this festival for the 14th year running. The Ukrainian audience is very demanding, so every year it is waiting for this event with great interest. Everyone finds entertainment to their liking. Taking into consideration feedback we receive, we can say with confidence that the event is very popular among Ukrainians. Many artists were invited to visit Ukraine accept our invitation with great pleasure. But for Ukrainian tourism to develop, greater efforts are needed. Unfortunately, only a few French singers and intellectuals who come to Ukraine by our invitation are well aware of Ukraine. But when they agree to come here within the framework of our events, they remain satisfied, and practically each of them expressed their desire to come back here for another visit. Partnership projects with Ukraine are constantly developing. We try to include new performances in the repertoire of the French Spring Festival. The play Antigona became one of the large-scale French-Ukrainian common projects. It was staged by a French stage director with the participation of talented Ukrainian actors. The second successful common project was a dance performance titled Motion, combining elements of ballet and hip-hop music. In 2017, these performances were presented within the framework of the French Spring Festival. Spectators will also be able to enjoy such plays in the future. Besides, not only Ukrainians, but also the French can watch these performances. The play Antigona has already been shown in France. At the end of this year, Ukrainian actors plan to make a tour of French cities with a performance of motion.
Bien sûr, nous sommes déjà en train de réfléchir à des partenariats. C'est d'ailleurs grâce à ces partenaires ukrainiens.
Of course, I can't disclose all the secrets of next year's festival 2018, but I can say that we're holding talks on the creation of new common projects that will be a surprise for the audience at next year's festival. The French are already familiar with many Ukrainian cultural workers. They know Ukrainian poet and prose writer Serhiy Zhadan and the creative team Dark Daughters, which goes on major tours abroad. Their performances are a great success among the French public.
Monsieur Losnitsa, qui vient aussi avec son film Une femme douce.
Filmmaker and scriptwriter Miroslav Slaboshpitsky is well known in the sphere of cinema in France. It is also worth mentioning Serhiy Losnitsa, who presented his movie under the title A Gentle Creature at the Cannes Film Festival. Within the framework of strengthening of relations between Ukraine and France in the sphere of culture, the number of artists captivating the hearts of the French audience is increasing with every year. The common feature of Ukrainian and French people is their profound interest in the development of culture. In different periods of history, there have been different trends of art. Speaking about the attitude of the French towards art, we may say that they admire everything new.
Dans tous les domaines. Donc, c'est assez simple pour moi puisque je vis ici en Ukraine.
I live in Ukraine, so I can see all the amenities the country has to offer every day. I like the architecture of Ukrainian cities very much. Kyiv has a great historical and cultural legacy. Everyone wanting to enjoy seascapes can visit Odesa. In Lviv, you can feel the atmosphere of Central European cities. The city has a lot of fascinating places for tourists. Ukraine also has rich traditions, dances and embroidered shirts. It is very interesting for French tourists, but at the same time, Ukrainians have to show their new achievements, because young Ukrainian people are very talented and creative. It is Ukrainian youth that is a driving force in promoting the positive image of Ukraine abroad.
Même si je dois dire qu'il faut aussi aller au-delà de ces clichés. Le meilleur exemple, mais ça c'était l'exemple de coopération dont je vous parlais tout à l'heure.
The play Motion serves as an illustrious example of this. Young Ukrainian athletes who express their talents and creative skills through art participated in the performance as well. Its main peculiarity is that people from different corners of Ukraine took part in it. This performance is also full of positive emotions of young Ukrainians who inspire others by their experience.
Cet exemple de coopération leur a permis de véritablement montrer leurs compétences, que c'était des véritables artistes.
There are lots of young talented Ukrainians not only in the field of dance, but also in the field of fine art, art direction and cinema.
Concret, je pense que Motion en est un, avec justement des gens qui sont très très jeunes. Concernant la cuisine ukrainienne,
I must also do justice to Ukrainian national cuisine. I have many favorite dishes. For example, I adore vareniki or dumplings with sour cream, borscht and potato pancakes.
Aussi le borscht. Et il y a plein d'autres choses.
These dishes all are very delicious. Both Ukrainians and the French are fond not only of healthy food, but they also like to gather around the table and talk, enjoy delicious food accompanied by the accordant libations, horilka in Ukraine and wine in France.
Autour de la table. Ce sont des moments importants. On parlait de l'accueil ukrainien.
This year, the event A Taste of France, with the participation of many local restaurants, was held in Ukraine for the third year in a row.
Le repas, la bonne cuisine.
French gastronomy is on the World Human Heritage List. This year, many Ukrainian restaurants took part in this project.
Chaque année.
In truth, this event would not take place if it weren't for Ukrainian hospitality, open disposition, and the desire to gather friends around a table to chat, enjoy tasty food and heartwarming drinks with good fun and laughter.
Le plaisir de la table, de partager et le goût des bonnes choses.